Now, the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
I think we're trying to find that right connection, the best five together. And sometimes it's who we're playing, and sometimes it's who's playing well.
When you make mistakes against really good teams, they can make you pay, but I also thought there were stretches where we controlled the play. We got to make sure we play our game for a full 60 minutes. Sometimes you're talking about building a program, it doesn't always go just like this, you know what I mean? And there's going to be some steps back, and those are great opportunities to learn.
Following a tough series sweep at the hands of the #3 team in all the land in Minnesota last weekend, Michigan State's hockey team has turned the page to its rivalry showdown against #6 Michigan, and the goal is to make sure history does not repeat itself. Last year, the Wolverines won all 6 meetings while outscoring the Spartans 25-10, and one player who could help snap that streak is junior Jeremy Davidson. The Kalamazoo native sat down with our Ian Kress and shared why he's been able to have so much success in his last 5 games.
It's always fun when the Spartans and Wolverines meet on the ice for what many call the best rivalry in college hockey.
Being from Michigan, do you take some sort of pride playing in this rivalry?
It's cool to play in like a rivalry like Michigan State, being a Michigan guy, just like being around the different fan bases throughout my entire life. Just like the history behind it, like it's bigger than a hockey game, I would say. At the same time, it's just a hockey game. Like, we're going out there and playing.
I saw your brother, he's the one that really got you into hockey, correct?
Yep.
How did he play, or what was the highest level he got to?
Both of my brothers just played in high school, like locally. They just didn't really take it as serious as I did from like a younger age, I would say. And but yeah, they just played high school and we're done after that. So Josh, he's my oldest brother. He's 30 now, so he's got 8 years on me. And then Jake, he's 24, so he's got 2 years.
Okay. So what did you learn having 2 older brothers, especially one that's 8 years old, about really just probably rough and tough, make you a little tougher there?
Yeah, no, definitely. There was a lot of, they were picking on me and a lot of fighting, not like fighting, but wrestling and stuff like that. Like, it was all fun and games, like just brotherly love kind of thing. But yeah, I definitely learned a lot from them, and they had a huge impact on my hockey career.
Davidson started his college hockey journey at the University of Massachusetts. A year later, UMass would go on to capture the Division I National Championship. The only problem? Davidson was no longer on the team.
Obviously, it sucked when I left. Like, it was just something that, like, you know, we both agreed on. Like, I wasn't ready. Like, I needed to develop more, kind of thing.
How tough was that too here, that you weren't ready to play for that team that you were playing?
Yeah. So it kind of just gave me a chip on my shoulder when I did go back to the USHL, and then when I came here and started playing here, it just, like, I would say that, yeah, it sucked to hear that, but like it definitely helped me in the long run.
How would you say your game has grown then, from having that chip on your shoulder up until now?
Yeah, I think just like learning that, like, nothing comes easy, I guess, and just focusing on yourself and making sure that you're taking care of all the things that you can control every day, and just kind of focusing on yourself.
After his brief time with the Minutemen, Davidson took his talents to the United States Hockey League to play for the Fargo Force. He spent a year out in chilly North Dakota before coming home to the Mitten State and becoming a Spartan in 2021.
I knew I wanted to be closer to home, and the Big Ten has obviously caught my eye, and so I think I reached out to Michigan State like probably 2 or 3 months into the season. Coach Exter, who's not here anymore, but yeah, I reached out to him and got a connection with him, and we're talking about the school and stuff like that, and the opportunities and what this place is all about. And it just seemed like a good fit and a lot of opportunity.
This offseason was a full circle moment for the junior, with Adam Nightingale being named head coach in the summer. Former UMass assistant Jared DeMichael was brought in to be a part of the new staff in East Lansing.
I like DeMichael. Like, I've always had like a good connection with him. He's really big on being the best you can be every day, and just kind of bringing it every day and working hard and doing the small details that lead to success. And I think, you know, he learned that at UMass. Like they're all about culture. They're all about doing the small things that lead to a national championship. So it's nice to have him here.
I'm assuming you texted him pretty quickly once he got hired.
Yeah, I was pretty excited.
DeMichael and assistant coach Mike Towns will get their first taste of the rivalry this weekend, while head coach Adam Nightingale is going to be experiencing it for the first time behind the Spartans bench. As a former player, he knows what it's all about. It's why he refers to it as the best rivalry in college hockey. So, of course, we sit down with him to discuss the task at hand when we come back.
As we go to break, Farm Bureau Insurance invites you to register to win an exclusive private dinner with head coach Mel Tucker. Go to InsideTheGreensweeps.com to register.
Want unlimited cash back on every single purchase you make? With an MSU FCU Platinum Plus Visa or an MSU FCU Visa Signature, that's what you'll get. Unlimited cash back. Choose from a variety of card designs, redeem your cash back at any time in any amount, and enjoy benefits like an exclusive welcome offer, travel accident insurance, and roadside dispatch. Get your MSU FCU cashback card today. Just stop by a branch or visit us online at msufcu.org.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
From the Cold War at Spartan Stadium to the Big Chill at the Big House, along with the duel in the D, Michigan and Michigan State's hockey programs have dropped the puck against one another 333 times since 1922. It's the best rivalry in all of college hockey, per Spartan coach Adam Nightingale, who is hopeful his team will get back on track this week against its biggest rival. So the biggest takeaway from the weekend, what would it be after facing Minnesota, who is the toughest competition that you have faced to date?
Obviously a really good team, and I think when you make mistakes against really good teams, they can make you pay, but I also thought there were stretches where we controlled the play, you know, and so we got to make sure we play our game for a full 60 minutes. And sometimes you talk about building a program, you know, it doesn't always go, you know, just like this, you know what I mean? And there's going to be some steps back, and those are great opportunities to learn.
What did you then maybe learn the most in terms of maybe specific guys and what they were doing on the ice, or what you liked, didn't like? I know there was improvement from Friday night to Saturday night.
Yeah. I thought we valued having the puck a little bit more. Like, they had a really good D-core, so it's hard to maintain possession of the puck. So we did a better job of valuing having it and how competitive you have to be when you have the puck. And I think our play away from the puck still needs to improve. You know, they're so good in transition, the way they can skate, and you watch the game for a little bit, and now you're chasing guys up the ice.
So what will practice look like this week for you guys in terms of, you have Michigan, your biggest rival, coming here to Munn Ice Arena on Friday before going to Ann Arbor on Saturday. So describe what practice looks like this week for you.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be a similar type week for us. I mean, you know, I think we have so much we want to keep improving in our game, and less focus on our opponent. Obviously, we know Michigan's a really talented team, and we're going to have to bring our A game for sure on the weekend, but we still want to keep growing as a team and individually, so we'll keep the same focus.
Brandon Naurato, he is the interim coach for Michigan right now. It's interesting that they have him as an interim role and the season is, you know, going on. How much do you know him, or what do you know about him? Because he was part of USA Hockey, he was with the Red Wings for a little bit, and you guys have very similar backgrounds.
Yeah, we when I worked in Detroit, he was a skills consultant for the team, so he was around the team, and he did some skill development stuff with guys in the area, and he came and worked with our team, with the national team, so he's done a really good job there. And yeah, you don't see it often, an interim tag, but it seems like he's doing a good job. What
do you then now, as a coach, like about the fact that you are going to be facing Michigan? Actually, this is the better question. What's your favorite memory of when you were playing against Michigan?
And I think the whole lead up to the weekend, you know, I think the buzz with the fans and the excitement in the locker room and the practices beforehand, and then the energy in the buildings, you know, I mean, obviously it's an unbelievable rivalry and tradition, you know, and to be a part of it now on the coaching side, I'm thankful for.
Not to be bring up any bad news or anything, but last year and, you know, the series prior, Michigan State has really struggled against Michigan. I know you don't like to look back at the past, but I mean, how good would it be to not have those games transpire the way that they did, you know, in the fashion in which maybe how you guys had lost those games prior to Michigan?
Yeah, obviously, like you mentioned, you know, what's in the past is in the past. We got to keep growing as a team, and I think it's an unbelievable opportunity for us. They're a program we have respect for, and we also don't fear anyone either, you know, so respect all and fear none. And I'm excited for our guys to have an opportunity to play in this game and find out more about our group.
I know this last weekend was tough for Dylan St. Cyr in a sense because, you know, the amount of shots that he faced. But where would you say that his, I don't want to say level of confidence because I don't think that's a good way to put it because he's a confident player, but what does a game like that teach him when he's facing all those rapid shots?
I actually think Dylan's you know, one of the hardest things to do is play goalie when you're not getting a lot of rubber, you know, like I think it's, and Dylan's one of those guys that gets in a groove, and you know, he's a rock back there for us, and I'm fully confident I'm going into this weekend.
If that's the case, the Minnesota series was a nice tune-up for the Spartans goalkeeper because the Wolverines are averaging just as many goals a game as the Gophers this season. All right, the MSU hockey team isn't the only Spartan squad on campus who's looking to get back in the win column this weekend. Over at the Breslin, Susie Merchant and her crew will pack their bags for Ohio State in hopes to snap a 4-game losing streak. We make our way over there after the break.
Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
After starting out the 2022-23 campaign with a pristine 6-0 record, the MSU women's basketball team finds itself in the midst of a 4-game losing streak. However, if Susie Merchant can get her team to play like they did in the final 6 minutes of their most recent loss to Purdue, they should be back in the win column in no time. This year also marks year 16 for Merchant at the helm, and it's where we begin our chat this week. Well, Susie, we'll just start with this. How is life these days, and how is year 16 going for you so far?
Busier than ever. You know, a lot of travel and a lot of games already, you know, in the books. It's been a ride for sure. We're learning a lot about our team. You know, we have some new faces. There's 7 new kids on this roster, so trying to piece them all together has been definitely entertaining. I'll say that, entertaining, and trying to, you know, on and off the court, keep them connected.
Who has been the most entertaining player per se for you guys?
Well, I mean, I think everybody would kind of look at K-Mac as the one, Kamari McDaniel is the one that's kind of, you know, been that more dynamic scorer. We needed a scorer. We lost Nia. She's a 3-level scorer, and she does a pretty good job of sharing it as well. So I think she stepped up. She's fun to watch. She's got some power to her game. She's got some ability to lead as well. So it's been fun to have her.
She is what I think we would call definition of a gamer, because when you're in a situation where you need a bucket or you need somebody to step up and rise to the occasion, so far she has seemed to do that for your team. And when you were trying to get her from the portal, how did that process go down, or how did you know that you needed to have her?
Well, we were looking for a scorer for sure in the portal, and I think, you know, one, she's from our state, and she had a rough go of it, and a lot of people might not know this, but I'm her 5th college coach. You know, so her portal reasons have been more because there's been a coaching change than it's, I don't like it where I'm at, I'm just ready to go. You know, she was at Penn State and went to play for Coquise, who then ended up, you know, leaving and then played for someone else. So then she put her name in the portal, went to Baylor to play for Kim Mulkey. Had to sit out that year as pre-portal times, I guess. Got hurt, and then a new coach came in, so now I'm literally her 5th college coach, and she's had a couple injuries that have gone with that. So, you know, her ability to be resilient and handle adversity, whether it be something in her control or outside of her control, has been something that's going to fare very well for her in her life.
The overtime loss to Purdue. You mentioned after the game that you needed more fight, competitiveness, toughness for 34 minutes and not just the final 6. As a coach, it can be easy to teach the techniques and fundamentals of the game of basketball, but how do you get them to understand that aspect, the fight, grit, competitiveness?
Yeah, I think that's, you know, I think if you look around the country, I think a lot of people are in that mode, you know, women's game, men's game. I think when you come now from, you know, where they come from, the AAU, I think you're really starting to see the fabric of, like, understanding how important every possession is, and they haven't come from that frame of reference, right? The frame of reference is, well, win, lose, or draw, I get my next game and I'm having a good time, I'm going out to eat. Like, there's not a lot attached to consequence-wise. So I think, you're looking at things that you got to continue to keep putting your foot on and keep talking about and keep finding ways to stay competitive in practice.
How many of your players played AAU basketball?
Every single one of them. And if they didn't play AAU, their term, like our international kids, it was more international. But even Isa, who is Canadian, she played on a AAU program. So, I mean, that's the fabric. We really recruit now more from AAU than we do from high schools. I mean, certainly high schools have become a little more secondary.
You guys now, too, are trying to snap a 4-game losing streak. You're going to Ohio State on Sunday. Just the challenges that this team presents and what you've been telling the players about.
They're successful because their two guards are consistent as the day is long. Their motors are good. Their work ethic is good. Their attitudes are good. They bring the same focus, intent, and toughness and lead that team. I think their center, the young lady that came from Russia, she was a piece of the puzzle in the past, and now she's really elevated. She's actually their leading scorer.
Merchant would love to win another Big Ten title over the next 5 years, and one player who could help her get a little bit closer to that goal this season is graduate guard Kamaria McDaniel. She has been on fire for the Spartans as of late, and we sit down with her when we come back.
Closed captioning sponsored by Hearing Life, helping Spartans love their ears. With 41 locations across Michigan, go to hearinglife.com to take a free online hearing test. Welcome back to the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show.
Following the departure of All-American guard Nia Clouden, there was a major question surrounding the MSU women's basketball team this year. Who would be its next dynamic scorer? Susie Merchant found her answer in the transfer portal by scooping up graduate guard Kamaria McDaniel from Penn State. Our Haley Schoengart sat down with the Inkster native, and she is truly one of a kind.
Remember, she's coming off that big performance against Oregon, season high 28. And here she is in transition. That's a through. And Michigan State takes the lead.
After being in the transfer portal twice, what was it that stood out about Michigan State?
Just them willing to take a chance on me because, like, my amateur status in terms of playing was under review. I had a waiver. So Michigan State believed in my waiver and believed that it could go through. There's a lot of schools that actually dropped off because they told me my waiver wouldn't go through. So Michigan State, they believed in it, they put the work in, and me and Coach Susie built a relationship in a short period of time, and she was willing to fight for me, and I have a lot of respect for that.
How has your process been getting back into the groove of things after sitting out with your knee surgery in 2020 and then only seeing 10 games in 2021?
It's been a journey. It's been a fun journey, and it's been I've learned so much about myself. And one thing that I really had to take away from this process was grace. Just grace and appreciating where I'm at and being in the moment and like controlling what I can control. And once I started focusing on that, I kind of go with the flow. Well, I'm one with the flow. I don't just go with the flow.
You always talk a lot about your faith. How crucial has that been in your journey through collegiate basketball?
I mean, I feel like God has put me in positions a lot to only have faith to rely on. When I think about my decision to even go to Baylor, I tried to single-handedly control my destiny to get to the league, and I tried to do that, but he showed me, on his time and his way and his plan. And so I trust in that. And from that waiver passing and just me, all those months of training, not knowing my future, I think my faith is at an all-time high, and it's continuing to grow.
And we've mentioned injuries a few times. Your success has had a few bumps in the road. How do you think those injuries have shaped you into who you are today?
It's everything. I mean, I really think about adversity in a different way now that I've went through so much, and it's like I'm either learning or winning. And so I think those injuries and everything that I've been through essentially has been good for me, and it shaped me, my character, shaped my faith, it shaped my wisdom, and now I can pour into other people because I have the experiences to give me the credibility to give someone else advice. I don't see it as a bad thing. I see it as a great thing, and I'm really happy that I went to Baylor and went through all of that because now I'm just so much better as a person, as a woman, and I have so much to offer to this world from what I've been through. So it's definitely a blessing. Like, everything is a blessing.
And I've got to ask you this question. So you've got a degree in agricultural sciences. You're working towards your master's in strategic communications. What made you pick those two majors? I know you're a big animal lover.
Yeah, so I was pursuing my agriculture degree at Penn State, but I ended up getting my degree at Baylor in health kinesiology and leisure studies. And what happened with that was I got to Baylor and there was a credit mix-up, so I ended up getting an undergrad that I didn't really want. I wanted the agricultural one.
So with your agricultural sciences supposed to be degree,
yeah, background.
What was going to be your dream job for that?
You know what? Since I was younger, I wanted to be a wildlife biologist. Like, I used to do every paper in elementary, middle school is like, what you want to do? Wildlife biologist, zoologist. Like, fun fact, I used to send letters to the Toledo Zoo relentlessly when I was younger. Shout out to my dad for never just put me down, even for the most ridiculous things that I did. I mean, shoot, I had so many pets, I felt like I could do it. But definitely was my dream job at first, but then kind of got more seasoned in life, and now I'm taking more of the like wisdom, knowledge, inspiration type route. But I still love animals. I'm still gonna have a lot of animals.
What's the first animal you're gonna get?
Probably I want to get a puppy, and I want to get a ball python.
Okay, very opposites.
Yeah, I've been wanting a ball python for a while. Bearded dragon is number 3.
So you like the reptiles?
I love reptiles and dogs. Reptiles and dogs.
Maybe if one of the animals are lucky, you'll name them after Susie Merchant.
Yeah, Susie, for sure, definitely.
I could see Susie the ball python.
Yeah, Susie, for sure. We gotta take that up with Coach, see how she feels about that.
Despite the overtime loss to Purdue, McDaniel was able to notch 20 or more points for a third straight game. And there's no doubt about it, the Spartans are going to need her offensive prowess when they take on number 3 Ohio State tomorrow. As always, we hope you enjoyed this week's episode of the MSU Federal Credit Union Coaches Show. Have a happy and healthy weekend.